everyone, it's Nadia from YARNutopia. Today we're making this beautiful Dreamtime Mosaic baby quilt. This quilt is a little too big for where my background is, but you can see the fabulous photos on the blog YARNutopia.com to see this beautiful piece all laid out, and the beautiful border that we do is a nice little scallop border. And what we're doing today is I'm going to show you how to make 9 different pieces, 9 different blocks. Okay, here are all these blocks here. We are going to do all of these, and then we're going to make multiples of each one and then attach them all into a mosaic design. So it's really, really fun. And it's like a baby quilt. It's really, really beautiful. So this measures 44 inches across here and 34 inches wide here, like up and down here. So that is the measurements. All the measurements for each piece and how they should be will be in the blog, YARNutopia.com. Just check the links in the description of this video. You'll get the whole free written pattern on my website, as well as all the measurements and different techniques you can use on attaching them. We are going to attach using the single crochet method, and it's just a really beautiful kind of a popping ridge along here. It just looks really, really nice. So those are the things we're going to do with this. Now the crochet hook we are going to use today is an eye hook, which is 5.5 millimeters, so 5.5 millimeters. This hook that I will use today in this video is very beautiful. It is an ergonomic hand carved crochet hook, basically, and it is a hand-carved wooden crochet hook that I got at the Etsy shop. Would be fancy. Make sure to check out that link in the description of this video for this, and on the blog it's linked to the Etsy shop so you can get your very own, because these are selling like hotcakes and everybody's always after these, and I have my very own, so you can get yours too. Also, you're going to need a scissors and a yarn needle for this project to cut your yarn and sew in some ends and sew a lot of ends in today because we are going to be attaching all these pieces, and it's just a lot of sewing, so you're going to need those tools as well. So those are all the tools we'll need. Now I'm going to be using Red Heart Super Saver yarn. Thanks to Red Heart for providing the yarn for this project. Here is one of the skeins we'll use. I will put all the colors that I'm using, all 9 different colors. I'm using 10 different colors because I'm using white as well. I'll put all the colors listed in the description of this video and where you can get them. This specific one is called Pool, but this is a size 4 worsted weight medium yarn, so make sure you get something equivalent to that. That is similar to a double knitting is a little thinner than this actually. You can use an Aran yarn if you can't get worsted weight. So those are the specs on the yarn. Now I used 9 different colors. I don't have specific yardage. Yes, you can see my messy pile of yarn over there. I don't have specific yardage of this project, but because I use so many different colors, but you can use scraps, or yeah, there's some white over there too. So you can use whatever yarn you have lying around, or I would guess probably 3 full skeins. So let's do the math, I guess. 364. There's 364 yards in each skein here. So 364 times 3. So about, I would say around 1,100. There you go. Almost 1,100 yards of yarn is used in this project, so that would be what I would use. So then just check out all the photos, check out the blog for all this information as well, and you'll get the free written pattern on there too, so you can follow along with that. So without further ado, I just have to say one more thing. Thank you to my dad for sticking with me throughout this whole video, because this is a very long video and a very long project, and he stood with me this whole time filming this, so thanks to him, for Fuad Azmat for being our videographer and our photographer for this project. So make sure you subscribe to our channel here on YouTube so you can show your support for YARNutopia. So now let's just get started and make this beautiful Dreamtime Mosaic baby quilt. Alright, we're going to start out with our first color for the first piece. I'm going to be using Flamingo, and what we're going to do is start out by making a slip knot. So put your short end over your long end, then fold that down, and then pull that through and pull tight. Okay, we are making piece number 1 right now. So let's insert our hook into that loop there. And we are going to start out by chaining 29. So yarn over and pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2, 3, 4, 5. I won't make you watch me chain 29. So just chain 29 and then we'll meet up for row 1. Alright, so I've chained 29. Now what you want to do is lay your chain out like this and then grab your measure tape and just make sure that that does equal 8 inches. And yep, that does. So that's about 20 centimeters. And skip that last chain. When you're measuring, just skip that last chain when you're counting, when you're measuring. So make sure that at least that 8 hits that second to last chain, okay? Because this is going to kind of shrink when you are working across. If your chain is too long or too short, just cut out some chains or add some more chains to your foundation. We want to make sure it's 8 inches long. And then what we're going to do is single crochet into the second chain from the hook right here. So the loop on the hook doesn't count as a chain, so count 1 and 2 right into this chain here. And what I personally like to do is turn my chain toward me like this and work into these back ridges here, just like this. Okay, so let's work into these back ridges. Go into the second chain, back ridge there, then yarn over and pull through, and then yarn over and pull through 2 loops. That's a single crochet. So go into the next chain right here, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. And we're just going to single crochet across this chain, just like that. And like I said, I'm going to work in the back ridges of these foundation chains because it's just going to be a little easier when we connect all of our pieces. When we attach everything, it's going to be easier to find the stitches on where to attach. So I'm going to do that all the way across, and then I will come back for row 2. Alright, just finishing row 1 here. We're going to go on to row 2, so you can see that I single crocheted across this chain, and if you want to, you can lay this down and then measure it again just to make sure that it is the 8 inches. Oopsie. Oh my goodness. So, yep. It is approximately 8 inches. So if it's a little bit like a half a centimeter bigger or something, no big deal. As long as it's in the rough area of 8 inches, that's totally fine. Okay, and that's around 20 centimeters or so. So just make sure you're measuring as you go. Now going on to rows 2 through 20, okay, we are going to chain up 1, turn our work around, and we are going to be working in the back loops only of this work. So usually we work through both loops here. If you can see my stitches up here, usually we work through both loops. Okay, both loops, just like this. The loop that's furthest away from you, that one right there, is the back loop only, okay? So this loop in the front is the front loop, front loop, front loop. This is the back loop. So we're only going to be working in those for this whole piece, okay? So going into this very first stitch right here, you want to make sure you have 28 stitches on each row, okay? So each row is going to have the same amount of stitches. You can see our first stitch here, it looks like we chained up 1 in there. We're going to go into, make sure you're in front of your yarn here, go into the back loop only of that, okay? Then yarn over and pull that through, and then yarn over and pull through 2 loops. Okay, there we go. Single crochet in the back loop only. Then go into the next stitch in the back loop only right there, yarn over and pull through, and then yarn over and pull through 2 loops. Okay, next stitch, back loop only, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. So once you start to move along here, just single crochet across in the back loop only, and then chain up 1, turn your work, and then single crochet across, working in the back loops only for every single row. And you'll start to see here that a ribbing effect is taking place because we are working just in the back loop, so that front loop is free and it gives it a nice ribbed effect. Okay, so we'll have that for this whole piece. So I'm just going to continue working the repeat of row 2. We're just single crocheting across, working in the back loop only for rows 2 through 20. When I finish row 20, then I will meet you up and I'll show you how to fasten off, and we can go on to piece number 2. Alright, just finishing row 20, and when we are done, make sure before we fasten off to lay this out like this and measure your piece. You want to make sure that from this point to the top here is 5 inches. If it's a little bit more, no big deal, but just measure it out, and mine is exact. Okay, so 5 inches is about 14 or 15, no, 13 centimeters. Okay, so make sure your piece is about 5 inches or 13 centimeters all the way from the bottom to the top, and then we're ready to fasten off. So if you need to, you can repeat that until your piece is as big as you need it to be. So it should be 8 inches across and 5 inches tall. Okay, that's how big we want this to be. And when we're ready to fasten off, we're just going to chain 1. Oopsie. Just chain 1 and then cut your yarn. And then pull that all the way through, just like that, and then pull tight. Okay, and this is what your piece needs to look like. Now, what I recommend doing is sewing in your ends as you go, just so you don't have to do it for each and every piece. There's like 22 pieces in this blanket, so let's sew in the ends. You can see I've yarned my needle, and I'm just going in underneath some of these stitches here. Okay, and I'm just pulling that straggler through just to hide it, and then stretch that out and then cut any extra. Okay, I'll do that again for this side. Just yarn the needle with the loose end. Okay, just go underneath some of these stitches and then pull that through and cut any extra. Now what I need you to do is make 4 of these exactly the same. So piece number 1, there should be 4 of these. Okay, so I have this one, and then I've made 3 more here. Okay, so make sure you have 4 of these ones in total, exactly the same. So if you need to, rewind this and make 3 more. Once you have all 4 of these made, we can go on to making piece number 2. Alright, for piece number 2, I am using bright yellow in Red Heart Super Saver yarn, and what we're going to do is start out with a slip knot, short end over the long end, fold that down, pull that through, and pull tight. Insert your hook. And this second piece is very similar to a granny square. We are doing the granny stitch, but we are doing a cornered granny square. So I'll show you exactly how to do that. We are going to start out by chaining 4. So yarn over and pull through 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then in the 4th chain from the hook way over here, we are going to put 2 double crochets. So yarn over, go into that very first chain way over here by your slip knot, yarn over and pull through, yarn over and pull through 2 loops, and then yarn over and pull through those other 2 loops. Okay, that is a double crochet. So we're going to put another one in there. So yarn over, go in, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. So now it looks like there's 3 double crochets because this is going to count as a stitch right here. It looks like a chain up 3. 1, 2, 3. We are going to chain 2, so yarn over and pull through 1 and 2. And we're going to put 3 more double crochets in that same spot right there. So yarn over, go in, yarn over and pull through, yarn over and pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. So there's 1. Yarn over, go in, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2. There's 2 and 3. And we're going to do that again. So chain 2, 1 and 2, and then put 3 more double crochets in there. So you can kind of see we're starting to make a little square. 1, 2, and 3. Awesome. Okay, another corner here, let's chain 2, 1 and 2, put 3 more double crochets into that middle there. It looks like the center now. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, for our last corner, we are going to chain 2, 1 and 2, and we're going to slip stitch to this beginning chain up 3 here. You can see 1, 2, and 3 right at the top here. Just go into this front loop and into this back loop, just like that. Yarn over and pull through that loop on your hook. And then we have a little tiny mini square. Later on, I will close this center circle using this straggler by sewing that in around, and I'll show you how to do that later. Now what we're going to do is chain up 3, 1, 2, 3. Going on to round 2, we are going to turn our work around like this, and we're going to work into this chain space here. We are going to put 2 double crochets, so yarn over, go into this chain 2 space here, yarn over and pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So there's 1 and 2. Then we're going to chain 2, 1 and 2, and put 3 more double crochets in there. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so it looks like in the corner there's 3 double crochets right here, because this chain up 3 counts as a stitch. 1, 2, 3, then a chain 2 space, and then 3 more double crochets in there. And that's what we're going to do in each corner here. So hop to the next corner. You don't even have to chain anything here. Just hop right into this next corner and put 3 double crochets, chain 2, and 3 more double crochets in there. So 1, 2, 3, then chain 2, 1, 2, and then 3 more double crochets. Okay, and then hop to the next and do the same thing. Do that in each corner around, and then I'll meet you up at the end of round 2. When you finish your last corner here, the 3 double crochet, chain 2, and 3 double crochet, let's just slip stitch to the first chain up 3 here. You can see 1, 2, and 3 is at the top right there. So go into this front loop and into the back loop back here, and then yarn over and pull through and through. Okay, we have a little tiny square now. Cute. It looks kind of like the pixel that we made in the Nintendo blanket. If you haven't seen that, check out this little corner of your video. There'll be like a little thing. You can go to see that video also. So anyway, let's go on to row 3. We're going to be working in rows now. So let's slip stitch into these next 2 stitches. So let's go into here, into the stitch here. Let's slip stitch. So yarn over, pull through, but don't pull too tight. Okay, just like that. And then into the next stitch, go in, yarn over, pull through, and through. And into this next chain right here. Let's go into there, then yarn over and pull through, and pull through. Okay, now we are in the chain 2 space here. We are going to work in rows, and what we're going to do is actually work across here, through this corner, and then to here. And then we're going to come back around and go back and forth just for this one corner. That's why it's called a cornered granny square. So let's chain up 3, 1, 2, 3, and put 2 more double crochets into this chain 2 space here. So yarn over, go in, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So 1 and 2. So it looks like there are 3 stitches in this chain 2 space. Let's hop to the next gap here, this gap between these 3 double crochet groupings. Let's put 3 double crochets in there. 1, 2, and 3. And now we're at the next corner. Let's hop into there and put our corner stitches. So that is 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. Then chain 2, 1 and 2, and put 3 more double crochets in there. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, then hop to the next gap right here between these groupings and put 3 double crochets in there. 1, 2, and 3. And now we're in the next corner here, but we are going to end there for row 3. So let's put just 3 double crochets in there. Okay, no more stitches, just 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. Just like that. So that was row 3. Okay, that's what it looks like. So now what we're going to do is chain up 3 and turn our work. So yarn over, pull through, 1, 2, and 3. Turn your work around just like this. And we're going to work into this first gap right here. We're going to put 3 double crochets in there. So 1, 2, and 3. Then hop to the next gap right here and put 3 double crochets in there. So just put 3 double crochets into each gap until you get to the corner. And then in the corner, we're going to put our corner stitches, which are 3 double crochets, chain 2, and 3 double crochets. So 1, 2, 3, chain 2, and then 3 more in there. 1, 2, and 3. Awesome. Hop to the next gap here, and we're going to put 3 double crochets in this next gap and in the next gap right here. Okay, but we're not finished with this row. We need to put 1 more stitch on this row. And where is it going to go? It's going to go right into this chain up 3 stitch. So you can see 1, 2, 3 right into this stitch here. Okay, you go through the front loop and the back loop there. Go in. Oh, you know what? We have to yarn over first. Sorry guys. Yarn over, then go in. Double crochet in there. Yarn over, pull through. Yarn over, pull through 2. Yarn over, pull through 2. Just like that. Now what we're going to do is turn our work around, going on to row 5. Yep, row 5. I'm going to go into this gap right here. Okay, no chaining yet. We're going to go into this gap, go in, yarn over, pull through, and pull through. So I just slip stitched into there. Okay, and you can kind of pull tight. There we go. And then chain up 3. 1, 2, 3. And in that same gap, we are going to put 2 double crochets. 1 and 2. So now it looks like there's 3 double crochets in there because that chain up 3 counts as a stitch. And now we're just going to put 3 double crochets into each gap until we get to the corner. And in the corner, we are going to put 3 double crochets, chain 2, and 3 double crochets, just like every row. Okay, so I put 3 double crochets in that gap, 3 double crochets in this gap. Now we're in the corner, so we're going to put our corner stitches in there. 1, 2, 3, chain 2, and then 1, 2, and 3. And if I'm going too fast, you can always follow along with the written pattern or pause this or rewind this to see exactly what I'm doing. But we're just working with double crochets, so it's pretty quick here. So double crochet into each gap until you get to the end of this row. Okay, now in the end of this row, there's this chain 3 right here. Actually, we're just going to be working in the gap right there. So we're just going to be putting 3 double crochets into that gap. Just like that. Okay, so that was row 5. Just like that. So you can kind of see it's like a small granny square, and it looks really cool. So let's do that now. We're going to repeat row 4 and 5, sorry. So repeat rows 4 and 5. So now, just like row 4, we chained up 3 and worked in the gap. We're going to do that. So chain up 3, 1, 2, 3, turn the work around, work 3 double crochets into this gap. 1, 2, 3. and then hop to each gap and put 3 double crochets in each one of those until you get to the corner. And in the corner we're putting 3 double crochets, chain 2, and 3 double crochets. And then we're putting 3 double crochets into each gap till the end of this row. And at the end of this row we are just putting a double crochet in the very last stitch. Okay, that is a repeat of row 4. And then the next row, we are going to, row 7 is a repeat of row 5. Okay, and then row 8 is a repeat of row 4, row 9 is a repeat of row 5, and then row 10 is a repeat of row 4. We are going to do that until we finish row 10. I'll come back up on the screen here after I finish row 10, and we are going to do one more round of working all the way around this piece. So just repeat rows 4 and 5 until your piece is 7 inches, okay, and then I'll meet you up. We have to make this piece 8 inches. Alright, so I just finished row 10 here, so this is what your piece should look like. You just want to, for rows 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, just repeat rows 4 and 5. You want to end on a repeat of row 4. So on this beginning of this row, you have that chain 3, and then at the end of this row, you have that chain 3, just so that it looks like a corner in each corner, I guess. It looks like a corner in each corner, a little chain 2 space, and these two already would have the chain 2 spaces. So you want to end on a repeat of row 4. You want to make sure this piece measures 7 inches or close to, which mine does right there, and 7 inches is about 17 centimeters, almost 18 centimeters. So that's that. Now what we're going to do is work in rounds again. We are going to work round 11, okay, in the pattern it's round 11. We are going to chain 3, 1, 2, and 3, turn the work around, okay, and we're going to put 2 double crochets in this space right here. 1 and 2. Okay, so it looks like there's 3, okay? That's going to be our corner. We're going to come back around and put 3 more double crochets in here when we end, and that will become a corner. And we're going to work 3 double crochets into each gap, just like we did it for every row. We're going to work 3 double crochets into each gap until we get to the next corner, and in the corner we're going to put our stitches, the corner stitches, which are 3 double crochet, chain 2, and 3 double crochet. Okay, so just do this where we turned our work, so we're basically working a repeat of row 5 at this point. So I will meet you up. I'm going to do this across here, just work that corner there, and then go across here. When I get to this point right here, we are actually going to not turn our work and work back. We are going to work down this side, okay, to work all the way around. So I will meet you up when I get to this corner here. Alright, so I'm at this corner now, so I'm just going to be working the 3 double crochets. So we basically just repeated the steps for row 5 at this point. Okay, so you can see that from the beginning here, we chained up 3, put 2 double crochets in there, worked a double crochet into each gap until this corner, 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet, and then 3 double crochets into each gap until this point. At this point we are going to work a corner. So we did put the 3 double crochets in there. We're going to put 2 double crochet, or I'm sorry, chain 2, and then 3 more double crochets in there. And you can see I'm turning my work now this way and working along this edge here. So we're going to put 3 more double crochets in here to make a corner. Okay, this is like a traditional granny square now, like stitches here. And now you're going to skip these ones here, and we're going to go into this gap right here around this chain 3. We're going to put 3 double crochets. So just work this like it's a gap. We're going to be putting 3 double crochets in there. And then working down this edge here, we're going to skip these and work 3 double crochets in this gap here. 1, 2, and 3. And then we're going to skip over this and work 3 double crochets into this gap. 1, 2, and 3. and then skip these. And now this is a corner. You can see our mini granny square right here. This is actually a corner, okay? And there's 3 double crochets in there. This is row 3 of our work. So we're going to actually put 3 double crochets into here. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, and now we're working on round 2. This would be round 2 of our work. There's a gap right here. We're going to put 3 double crochets in there. 1, 2, and 3. And now we're at the next corner. So we're going to put 3 double crochet, chain 2, and 3 double crochet in this corner. 1, 2, 3, chain 2, 1, 2, and 3. Okay, and now we're working along this edge exactly the same. We're going into this gap right here and putting 3 double crochets. Then we're going to hop to the next gap right here, which is the corner of round 2. Okay, you can see this is round 3 or row 3 starting right here. So we're going to be working 3 double crochets into that corner, which is considered a gap. And then we are going to hop to the next gap, which is now these rows. Okay, so every other row right here. And then this is our corner. So I'm going to do these 4 here, and then when I'm finishing up, I will meet you up to fasten off. Alright, when you finish up here, we are going to finish and fasten off. Let's chain 2, 1 and 2, and connect to this beginning chain up 3 here. 1, 2, 3, so right into this chain, oopsie, 1, 2, and 3, sorry, right into this one, go into the front and back loop, yarn over and pull through, and then pull through. And now we can fasten this one off. So let's chain 1 and cut the yarn and then pull that all the way through and pull it tight. Now this piece should measure 8 inches. So let's grab our measure tape and measure that up. And it does. Awesome! So it's just like literally like a millimeter more, which is totally cool and totally fine. So just make sure it's 8 inches, and it is a square, so it'll be 8 inches this way and 8 inches this way. So now what I want you to do is sew in your ends. So grab that yarn needle. And then in this middle one here, in this little hole, you can see there's a little tiny hole right there. What I'm going to do is work at the base of these stitches around round 1. Okay, I yarned my needle and I'm going at the base of the stitches and sewing this in. Now that wouldn't be a problem if you started with a magic ring. I know a lot of people ask, can we start with a magic ring? You can definitely start with a magic ring and make the traditional granny stitch for round 1. And then just follow along with the steps for rounds 2 and rows 3 through 10 and round 11. So that's totally fine. But you can see that that circle or that center hole has closed. So once you are satisfied with that being sewn in, you can cut any extra yarn you may have. Okay, and then I just have this end also to sew in at the top here, so we're just going to go underneath some stitches. And like I said earlier with piece number 1, make sure you sew in your ends as you go. I can't stress that enough. You don't want to be having a headache at the end of your piece and have all these loose ends hanging out. Just sew in your ends as you go so you won't have that problem. Okay, so now what I need you to do is make 2 more of these exactly the same. So we have 3 of these pieces. Okay, actually they're backwards, sorry. Just like this, and this like this. Okay, so 3 pieces of this in the bright yellow in these squares. Okay, so if you need to rewind this and make 3 of these, once you have 3 of these done, we can go on to making piece number 3. Alright, we're making piece number 3 now. I'm using this hot pink color. We are going to start out by making a slip knot. I showed you how to do that with piece number 1 and 2. So let's make that and then insert our hook and we can start. Let's start out by chaining 30. So yarn over and pull through 1, 2, 3. I'm not going to make you watch me do all 30 chains. So just chain 30 and I'll meet you up for row 1. Alright, I just chained my 30 here, so this is what it should look like. If you need to measure it out, it should be 8 inches. So let's, or maybe a little more than 8 inches here. Yep, just about 8 inches there. So 8 inches is about 20 or 21 centimeters, so make sure your piece is that long. And we are going to go on to row 1. We are going to single crochet in the second chain from the hook. So the loop on the hook doesn't count as one, so let's count 1 and 2. In this chain here, we are going to single crochet. And just like I showed you for piece number 1, I'm going to work in the back ridges. So go into the back ridge of this piece. Right here in the second chain, go in, yarn over, pull through, yarn over and pull through 2. Now in the next chain, we are going to treble crochet. So yarn over twice, go into that next chain, yarn over and pull through, then yarn over and pull through 2 of the loops on your hook, then yarn over and pull through 2 more, and yarn over and pull through 2 more. Okay, you'll see it's kind of really slanted because this one is really short and this is a really tall stitch. So we're going to actually push this to the back there, just like that, folding it in half, and we're going to single crochet into the next chain. So go into this next chain, then yarn over and pull through, and then yarn over and pull through 2 loops. So that kind of makes a little bobble stitch looking thing. Okay, because that treble crochet is folded in half and makes it poke out quite far. Okay, so we're going to alternate those 2 stitches on this row. So yarn over twice, go into the next chain right here for a treble crochet. So go into there, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 more loops, and then yarn over and pull through those last 2 loops. Then single crochet into the next chain. So just go in, and then yarn over and pull it through there, then yarn over and pull through 2. Okay, and make sure you push your treble crochets forward like this, kind of just stick your thumb in there to kind of push them out, so then on this side you'll see that they are poked through. Okay, and they look good. Okay, so just alternate those 2 stitches all the way across this chain. So treble crochet in the next chain, and then single crochet in the chain after that, and then treble, then single, and just continue working the repeat there all the way across, and then I'll meet you up for row 2. So you want to make sure you end row 1 with a single crochet in that last chain there, okay? So going on to row 2, let's chain up 1 and turn our work around. And now you can actually see that these treble crochet stitches are really looking like baubles. They look really cool with the texture, and that's just going to look great in this blanket, really texturized, so I really like it. So for row 2, we are going to single crochet in each stitch across. So in this very first single crochet stitch right here, we're going to go in, yarn over, pull through, yarn over and pull through 2. And in this treble crochet stitch right here, single crochet in there. Okay, and we're just going to simply single crochet all the way across for a clean slate then for row 3, because row 3 is a repeat of row 1. So I'll single crochet across, and then I'll meet you back up at the end of row 2. Just single crochet across and I'll meet you up for row 3. Alright, when you're single crocheting across, don't forget this very last stitch here. On these rows, you should have 29 stitches on each row. Okay, that will not change. It'll be 29 stitches every row. So you can see there is our piece. So now going on to row 3, we are going to, this is our repeat now. We're going to be repeating rows 2 and 3 for this pattern. So let's chain up 1 and turn the work around. And we're basically doing the row 1. We're single crocheting in the first stitch, and then treble crochet, yarn over twice, in the next stitch, and then single crochet in the next, and then treble crochet in the next. And always push your treble crochets that way. If they don't naturally, they should, but push them in. okay, so that it shows the bobble on this side, okay, and then just alternate those 2 stitches, and we'll meet you up for the next row. Alright, again, just end this row on a single crochet. So we have now, all we have to do is just repeat rows 2 and 3. So chain up 1, and for row 4, let's just single crochet across here. So repeat rows 2 and 3 until your piece measures 5 inches. That will be, I'll finish row 18, okay? We want to end with a single crochet row, so repeat of row 2 we want to end with. So row 18 will be our repeat of row 2. So I'm going to do this row 4 through 18, just repeating rows 2 and 3 until I finish row 18. When I finish row 18, I will meet you up, we'll measure this piece out, and then we'll fasten it off. Alright, so I just finished row 18 here, so let's hold this here for a second and measure this out. This is what your piece should look like. You can see the texture, the treble crochet looking bobble stitches give it a really nice texture. And if you don't see them, just make sure you go from the back and kind of just push them all forward so you can see them. So just do that and then measure this out. It should be 5 inches. If it's a little tad bit more, that's okay. Mine is about 5.5 inches. Oops, sorry, can't see that. There we go. It's about 5.5 inches for me, which is okay, and that's about 14, almost 15 centimeters for me. So just make sure it's 8 inches wide. Here, mine's a little bit more than that. It kind of stretched out a little as I was going, so just make sure it's about 8 inches by 5 inches. Okay, and that can be a rough, you don't have to be super exact, but that's how it should look right now, okay? So let's fasten this piece off. So let's chain 1. I've already cut my yarn, so just chain 1, cut your yarn, and then continue to pull it through and pull tight, okay? And then what I need you to do is, if you need to, rewind this and make another one exactly like this. So you have 2 of these here. This is what they both should look like, okay? Both exactly the same. So this is piece number 3 in the hot pink color. You want to have 2 of these ones. So, and then I'm just gonna sew in my ends here real quick, and then we will go on to making piece number 4. Alright, for piece number 4, we are making this one with a turquoise color. The Red Heart Super Saver label says turquoise for this color, and I'm going to start out by making a slip knot. So I showed you for piece 1 and 2 how to make a slip knot. And for piece number 4, we are going to chain 42, or an even number that is 12 inches long. So yarn over and pull through. 1, 2, 3. I'm not going to make you watch me chain 42. So just chain 42 and I'll meet you up for row 1. Alright, so I just chained 42, so I'm going to lay this down and measure my work. Hopefully it is 12 inches. And yep, there we go. It's about 12 inches, maybe just a tad more, which is 31 centimeters. So that should be how long your piece should be. So now what we're going to do is double crochet into the 4th chain from the hook. So the loop on the hook doesn't count as a chain. So count 1, 2, 3, and 4 into this chain here. And just like how I showed you for piece 1 and piece 3, we are going to turn this chain toward us and work in the back ridges here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. In that chain, yarn over, go into that chain, then yarn over and pull through, yarn over and pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. And this row is quite easy. We are going to double crochet into each chain across. Okay, very simple. Now when you come back here, this stitch right here, this is going to count as a stitch. It looks like a chain up 3 here. 1, 2, 3. This is going to count as a stitch when we work in row 2, which I'll show you at that point, but I just wanted to show you now and I'll remind you later. But we're just going to double crochet in each chain across here. At the end of this chain, at the end of row 1, we will have 40 stitches in total. So I'll meet you up and we'll go on to row 2 together. Alright, just finishing up row 1 here, so we just have a basic double crochet row, so you can see that here. If you want to, at this point, again, measure your piece. It should be 12 inches. And mine's like perfectly 12 inches. Look at that. How awesome. So 12 inches is about 31 centimeters, so make sure you have it about 31 centimeters. And now we can go on to row 2. So let's chain up 3. Okay, 1, 2, and 3. This is our repeat now. So we're going to be repeating row 2 for the rest of this piece. So chain up 3, turn the work around. That chain up 3 is going to count as a stitch. So we do not have to work in this stitch right here. We are going to work around this stitch right here. And we're going to put a front post double crochet around that. So yarn over, go on this side of the post. Okay, this second post here. This first post has the chain up 3 stitch in it, so we're not going to do anything with that. So yarn over, go on this side of this second post right here, around it, just like that. Then yarn over and pull through, yarn over and pull through 2 loops, and then yarn over and pull through 2 loops. Okay, that's a front post double crochet. So you can see that is going to give it texture too. It's going to look so fabulous. Then on the next stitch, we are going to do a back post double crochet. So yarn over, go behind your work, okay, around this next post. So behind this next post, around it, just like this. Okay, going back to the back, just like that. Yarn over, pull through, then yarn over and pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2 to finish that off. And that is a back post double crochet. So we're going to alternate these 2 stitches all the way to the end. On the very last stitch, we are going to put a regular double crochet, which I'll show you how to do that when I get there. But yarn over, go around this next post from the front of your work, around it like that. Then yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. That's our front post double crochet. On this next stitch, we have to do a back post. So yarn over, go from behind your work to the front, around that post to the back again. Yarn over and pull through. Then yarn over and pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. Okay, so we're alternating those 2 stitches all the way across till the very end of this row. When I'm finishing this row, we are going to meet back up because I'm going to show you how to finish this row, and then I'll let you go on your own then because we're just repeating row 2, which I'll get there at that point. So let me finish this row and then I will meet you up and we'll go on to row 3. Alright, you want to end this row with a back post double crochet, and then you can see here that this is an actual stitch right here. You can see it looks like a chain up 3 here. 1, 2, 3. We are going to put a regular double crochet in there. So yarn over, go into this front loop of the double crochet, or of that chain up 3 there, and that second loop. So like it's a stitch. There we go. So into those 2 loops right there. There should be 1 loop underneath that, if you can see that underneath there. Okay, that's where the stitch is, and then we are going to double crochet into there. So yarn over, pull through, yarn over and pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. Okay, so that was row 2. So this is what it should look like. You can really see that texture. I absolutely love it. So now we are going to repeat row 2 for rows 3 through 17, or until this piece is 8 inches tall. So I am going to chain up 3, 1, 2, and 3, turn the work around. Now on this stitch, since the last row it was a back post double crochet, it looks like a front post double crochet on this row. So you can see it is poking forward more. So we are going to put a front post double crochet around that. That is the second post here. This chain up 3 is basically a stitch worked into this stitch here, okay? This chain up 3 always will count as a stitch, and we will work in there a regular double crochet just like I showed you here, okay? So we are going to alternate the stitches, front post double crochet on this next stitch, and then back post double crochet on the next stitch. And then on the very last stitch, we are going to put a regular double crochet in the very last stitch. So just repeat row 2. If you need to, you can rewind this to see exactly what I did for row 2, but we are just repeating that until we finish row 17. Or until this piece is 18 inches. We want to end this, let me see here, end this on a, repeat row 2. So yeah, just, there's no ending on any specific, there's no specific instructions on here how to end it. So let's just do a repeat of row 2 until we finish row 17, and then we are going to meet back up because we are going to single crochet around the entire piece, and I'll show you how to do that next. Alright, so I just repeated row 2, so this is what your piece should look like. It is very textured. I love the front and back post stitching. It looks great. So if you want to at this point measure your piece, again, it should be the 12 inches, and I know it kind of squeezed in because the stitches, so you want to kind of stretch it out a little bit. If it's stretched, it should equal the almost 12 inches. We are going to crochet around this whole piece, so mine's about 11.5 inches, which is good because it is going to be, we're going to single crochet around it, so it's about 28 centimeters across here, and then you want it to be 8 inches tall. So let's see here. It is almost 8 inches tall, which again we're going to single crochet around this piece, so it's about 7.5 inches right now, and we will crochet around it, and that should be about 20 centimeters. So let's just get on to the next step of single crocheting around this whole piece. So once you finish row 17, just chain up 1 and turn your work around. And we're going to single crochet into each stitch at the very top here. You can see it in the stitch. We're going to single crochet across the top of these 40 stitches here. Okay, so just go in, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. Go into the next stitch and single crochet. And we're just single crocheting all the way across, and then once I get to the corner, I'll show you how to turn the corner and work down the side, and then I'll let you continue to single crochet around this whole piece. Alright, so in this last stitch, you can see this chain up 3 stitch here. I'm going to put 2 single crochets in there. Okay, and then we're going to turn our work like this and work along this edge here. Now basically wherever your hook fits is where you should put a single crochet. So go into here and make a single crochet, and then just go down the side and just put a single crochet in wherever it fits. Basically there's no amount of stitches. Obviously you don't want to cluster them in the same spot, so kind of just evenly crochet down the side. And then in the corners we're putting 2 single crochets in the corners just to turn the corner easily, to make it look like a pointed corner. So we're gonna do that all the way around. Once we get we're gonna go all the way down here, and then we're going to single crochet 2 in this corner, and then along this edge here, the foundation row, and then up the other side. And once I get back around to the beginning, I will meet you up and we'll fasten this piece off. Alright, so I just crocheted a single crochet all the way around. I am putting another single crochet in that beginning corner there so that there is 2 in there. And then we're going to slip stitch to the first single crochet right in here. So go in, yarn over, pull through, and we can fasten this piece off. So let's chain 1 and cut this yarn, and then pull that all the way through and pull it tight. So there we have our piece. Now you can grab your measure tape. Measure this out. Make sure it is 12 inches across here. Awesome. There it is. Mine's just a tad shorter than 12 inches, but that's okay because if I stretched it out a little bit, it would hit the 12-inch mark, which is about 31 centimeters. Okay, there we go. 31 centimeters. And the length should be 8 inches, which mine's exactly on the 8-inch mark, which is 20 centimeters. So just make sure your piece is 12 by 8 and that you need 3 pieces total of this one. So I have these 3 all here. So make sure you make 3 of piece number 4. So we have those, okay? Once you have all 3 of these made, if you need to rewind this, make 2 more of these, you can set these aside and grab your jade yarn or your other color for piece number 5 we'll make next. Alright, for piece number 5, I am actually using Red Heart Baby Hugs yarn. You can use Red Heart Super Saver and Jade. This one is aloe, so you can use Baby Hugs or you can use Super Saver. Does not matter. So let's make a slip knot. Put that short end over the long end, fold that down and pull that through and pull tight. Piece number 5 is a corner to corner design. So let's start out by chaining 6. So yarn over and pull through. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay. For corner to corner, we are going to double crochet into the 4th chain from the hook. So count here. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Into this chain here, yarn over, go into that 4th chain from the hook, yarn over and pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. Double crochet into each of these next 2 chains. 1 and 2. So it should actually look like you have 4 stitches. Okay, and that's row number 1. So you can see here this beginning chain 3 counts as a stitch, and then you have your 3 double crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now going on to row 2, we are going to chain 6. So yarn over, pull through. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, we're going to turn our work kind of like this. Okay. And I'm going to double crochet into the 4th chain from the hook. So again, 1, 2, 3, 4. Right into this chain here, yarn over, go into there. You can see I'm working in those back ridges, okay, just like I showed you on our other pieces, back ridge. Double crochet into that chain, okay, make sure you're not twisting this here. And then double crochet into each of the next 2 chains. 2 chains. Right here. And right here. Okay, double crochet. So again, we have these pieces just like this. Okay, then we are going to slip stitch into the chain 3 turning chain from the beginning row here. So let's switch this around. Okay, so we're kind of twisting this. Actually, no, I'm wrong. We're switching it up like this. So we turn this one, you see it like this, you're going to turn this one up like this. Okay, so they're looking like this. And you can see this chain 3 here. This looks like a stitch. We're going to slip stitch into there. So let's go in there like this, then yarn over and pull through, and pull through. Just like that. Okay, so now we have them connected. Then we're going to chain 3, so yarn over and pull through, 1, 2, and 3, and then put 3 double crochets into the same space here. So yarn over, go in, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So there's 1, here's 2, and here's 3. Okay, so now we have 3 blocks, and that was row 2. So this was row 1, and this one are row 2. So you can kind of see there's 3 blocks, little squares here. Okay, going on to the next row, row 3, we're going to basically now repeat row 2 until we have 10, let me count here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yes, 10 of these little blocks across here. Okay, so I'll show you again. We're going to chain 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, let's turn our work here around just like this. So we're going to work along this chain and then slip stitch into this chain 3 space right here. Okay, so let's double crochet in the 4th chain from the hook. 1, 2, 3, 4 right in here. Yarn over and go in. Then yarn over, pull through. Yarn over, pull through 2. Yarn over, pull through 2. And in each of these next 2 chains, double crochet in each one of those. 1 and 2. Awesome. Then we're going to come down through here, see this chain 3 space right here. We're going to kind of just bring this little V looking thing right here together and then slip stitch into this chain 3. So yarn over, pull through and through. And then we are going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3, and we're going to put 3 double crochets into that space. So 1, 2, and 3. And now we are at this point here. You can see this piece here. There's that chain 3 space right there. And there looks like a V right here. We're going to connect these two by going into that chain 3 there. Yarn over, pull through, and pull through. Okay, now we have to increase again. We're going to make another block up here. Okay, so we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3, and put 3 double crochets around this chain 3. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so that was row 3. Awesome. Going on to row 4. So every time we start a row, we are going to chain 6. So yarn over and pull through. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Let's turn this work around. Okay, it's getting easier as we go here. Let's double crochet in the 4th chain from the hook. 1, 2, 3, 4 right in here. Double crochet in the 4th chain from the hook and in the next 2 chains. 2 chains. I'm going to say it every time. 1, 2, and 3. Awesome. Then you can see here we have this little like V looking thing here. This looks like a 90-degree angle here. We're going to close that up, bring it forward, and then come into this chain 3 right here and go in and slip stitch. So yarn over, pull through, and pull through. At this point we are just going to be chaining 3 and putting 3 double crochets into each of those chain 3 spaces. So chain up 3, put 3 double crochets into this chain 3 space. 1, 2, and 3. Then bring it this close together and go into the next chain 3 space of this block right here and slip stitch in there. And then again repeat that. So chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and put 3 double crochets in there. 1, 2, 3. Then slip stitch into this next chain 3 space right here. Go in, slip stitch in there, and then chain up 3, 1, 2, 3, and put 3 more double crochets in there. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, just like that. So I have, that was row 4. Okay, going on to row 5, we're just repeating then row 4. So let me count my thing here real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yes, we want to make sure that we have 10 across here, 10 groupings, so along one edge. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So do that until you have 10 of these across, so 10 rows basically. And then once you have, just repeat what we did for row 4 here. So every time you start a new row, chain 6, and then turn your work and continue on. If you need to, you can rewind this to see what I did for row 4, but I'm just going to repeat that until I have 10 rows done, and then I'll meet you up and we will decrease, but we still have to make it longer, so it's going to be a 10 by 12 little corner to corner kind of thing. So I'll show you what to do after row 10. Alright, I'm just finishing row 10 here, just finishing my last block, and then I'm going to set this down for a second. So we have 10 little blocks across here, so you can see they are turned or straight up, so horizontal and vertical. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, now this should measure 8 inches across here. Yep, it does. Awesome! So you should measure 8 inches across, which is about 20 centimeters, almost 21 centimeters. So make sure yours does also. If it doesn't, if you need more or less, just repeat that row accordingly until your piece measures 8 inches across. Now we need to make this 10 inches tall, like this. But we need to stop making it wider. Okay, so we need to make it taller, but no more width to it. So what we're going to do is decrease this side, but increase the height of it. So let's continue on to the next part here. Sorry. Let us chain 6 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and then turn that work around there, just like that. And we are going to double crochet into the 4th chain from the hook. Okay, very similarly to how we started that each row here. And then double crochet into the next 2 chains. Okay, just like that. And then come into this chain 3 space here and slip stitch, then chain 3 and work your pattern until the end. Now I'm going to do that because there's going to be, 10 of these little cubes, or they're kind of like granny stitches almost. So I'm going to go to the next chain 3 here and slip stitch, then chain 3, and then put 3 double crochets in there. Okay, and I'm going to do that until the last block. Right before the last block, when I get all the way up to here, we are actually just going to end right here next to this one. We're not going to build off of this one anymore because we don't want to make it wider. So we're going to end at this one. So I'll meet you up when I'm starting this one, and we'll go on to the next row together. Alright, so I'm finishing row 11 here. Now we're not going to increase this side, so I'm just going to end it at this block right next to this last block from row 10. This was our last block from row 10, so we're going to slip stitch into there, into that last block there. Okay, just like that. So now it's going to go straight across here. So going on to row 12, we're going to turn this work. Okay, don't chain up anything yet here. We're going to turn this work here. We are going to slip stitch into, okay, so skip over. You can see there's 4 stitches, 1, 2, 3, and then this chain 3 here. We're going to slip stitch into this stitch, this first one. Okay, so we're coming back over this chain and then into this stitch here. Go in, yarn over, pull through, and pull through. Slip stitch in there. Then slip stitch into the next 2 stitches. So go into this next stitch and the next stitch. Okay, but we do not have to chain or slip stitch into this chain 3 here. We're just going to chain 3 now. 1, 2, 3, and work into that chain 3 space by putting 3 double crochets in there. 1, 2, and 3. That will be just nice so that, you know, this will be a straight edge. Okay, and it won't be an extra long stitch. That's why we didn't slip stitch in there. So that is what that looks like. Okay, we're going to slip stitch now into this chain 3 and work down this way. Okay, and when we get to the very end here, we're going to work our same stitches, chain 3, put 3 double crochets in there, then slip stitch to this next block and continue on working all the way across here. And when we get to this point over here, we are going to increase and add another block up here. So I'll show you how to do that. So just continue at this point working your chain up 3 and then 3 double crochets around this chain 3 here, and then slip stitch to the chain 3 of the next block right here, just like that, and then chain 3 and continue with the pattern until we get to the end of this row, and I'll meet you up, and then I'll show you how to finish this row, and we'll go on to the next row together. Alright, so finishing row 12 here, we are just making that block, and then we're going to slip stitch into here, but except on the opposite end when we started, we didn't increase. Okay, we just slip stitched to that last block there and went on to the next row. This side we are going to increase, so we are going to chain 3 right now and put 3 double crochets in here. 1, 2, and 3. And then we're going to increase even more, so we're going to chain up, let's see here, chain, oh, just kidding, we're not going to increase anymore. Let me make sure, let me measure this at this point to make sure that this is 10 inches. Oh, okay, so that is the 10-inch mark. I was like confused at my pattern, said not to increase, and then I was gonna. So we want to make sure this is 10 inches long. If it is not 10 inches long for you, if it's still short, you can chain 6 and go on to making the next row here. That is, let me check the measurement in centimeters, is 26 centimeters long. Okay, so like I said though, if yours is not that long yet, if yours isn't as tall at this point over here, you can chain 6 and go on to increasing this side, but then stop over here. But now we're done increasing, I'm going to start decreasing now completely. So row 13, we are going to only have 8 blocks across. We have 9 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, sorry, that's 10. That's row 12. Sorry, guys. So now we are going to chain or turn our work here. You can chain 1 if you want to. And then slip stitch across here. Okay, so in this first stitch here, in the second stitch, and in the third stitch. Okay, and then we're going to do like kind of how we did on the other end. We're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then put 3 double crochets into this chain 3 space here. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, that way this is a straight edge there, and we are going to slip stitch into this chain 3 space of this block right here, and then chain 3 and just continue with the pattern. Now since we are done increasing, or now we're decreasing now completely until there's only 1 block left, I am going to continue working this pattern up until I get to this point here. And we're going to repeat what we did on this side. So we're just going to end with a block right here, okay, in this little area, and then we'll go on to making the next row. So just continue with the pattern, chain up 3 and put 3 double crochets around this chain 3 right here, and then slip stitch into the chain 3 of the next block. Okay, so they're kind of like stepping stairs. And it's that easy. So I'm going to do that up until I get to this point right here, and I'll meet you up over there, and then we'll go on to row 14. Alright, just made my last little block there, so I'm going to slip stitch into this chain 3 space here, and we're not increasing anymore, so I'm going to turn my work around, slip stitch into the first 3 stitches of this little block that we just made, slip stitch into the first 3 stitches, okay, and then chain 3, 1, 2, 3, we're going on to, what is this, row 14? Row 13. Let me count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yeah, row 14. Sorry, guys. So row 13 should have 9 blocks on it. Let me count that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yep. There should be 9 blocks across here for row 13. Going on to row 14, we're decreasing to 8 blocks, and we're just repeating now, putting the 3 double crochets into the chain 3 space here, then slip stitching to this chain 3 space of the next block, chain up 3, and then put 3 double crochets in that chain 3 space. And just do that all the way across until we are at the end of this row. And then once we are at the end of this row, I'll meet you up and we'll decrease and go on to row 14, or sorry, row 15. Alright, so finishing row 14 now, just making my last block here. And then we are going to slip stitch to this next chain 3 space of this block. Okay, going on to row 15, we are going to kind of repeat what we did for row 14. So we're going to turn our work, slip stitch into these first 3 stitches, 1, 2, and 3, and then start out the same. So chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and work your established pattern. And we're just going to repeat that now, decreasing until we have 1 block left. So that is, let's see here, this is row 15. At the end of row 15, you should have 7 of these blocks. So row 14 had 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This row will have 7. Then row 16 will have 6 little blocks. Row 17 will have 5 little blocks. Row 18 will have 4, row 19 will have 3, and row 20 will have 2, and then row 21 is where I will meet you back up and we'll finish off and fasten this block off, or this little piece number 5 of our blanket off, and then we can go on to the next step. Alright, I'm just going on to row 21 where I just have 1 little block left. Okay, so I'm just going to do my 3 double crochets in there. And then to fasten this off, we are going to slip stitch into this chain 3 space right here. And then to fasten off, we chain 1, cut our yarn, and pull it through, and then pull tight. Okay, and then we can sew in that end in a minute, but I just wanted you to see the piece now. This is what it looks like. So you'll need to, if this was kind of confusing for you, because it was the first time I've done this corner to corner design and it was a little confusing for me at first, so you can rewind this and make another one. So make sure you have 2 of these in total, okay, for piece number 5 for our blanket. So make sure you have 2 of those, exactly the same measurements. Now they should be 10 inches wide by 8 inches tall. Okay, so that is about 25 centimeters wide and about 20 centimeters tall. Okay, so those are 2 of those. You can make 2 of those total. And then once you have both of these made, we can go on to make piece number 6. Alright, going on to making piece number 6, I'm using Red Heart Super Saver in Carrot for this piece. So let's start out by making a slip knot. Put that short end over the long end, fold that down, and pull that through. Pull it tight and insert your hook. And for piece number 6, we are making the waffle stitch. So let's start out by chaining 20. So yarn over, pull through, 1, 2, 3. I won't make you watch me chain 20, so I'll chain 20 and I'll meet you up for row 1. Alright, I have my 20 chains, so at this point you can lay this down and make sure your piece is 5 inches across, and yep, it's about 5 inches, which actually we're going to skip the last 3 chains, so at least your first 18 chains is 15 inches, so, or I'm sorry, 5 inches. So we are going to make this piece 5 inches by 8 inches, so we want it 5 inches wide. So let's go on to row 1. In the 4th chain from the hook, we are going to double crochet, so count 1, 2, 3, and 4. This 4th chain from the hook, again, I'm going to work in those back ridges, so I'm going to turn my chain toward me, yarn over, and go into that 4th chain from the hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. Now this stitch right here is going to count as a stitch. It looks like a chain up 3 here. 1, 2, 3. That is going to be a stitch, okay? We are going to double crochet into each chain across. So very similar to row 1 of piece number 4, where we did the front and back post stitches. We did row 1 just double crocheting across the chain, just like this. So I'm going to do that for row 1, and then I'll meet you up for row 2. Alright, so I just double crocheted across, so this is what your piece should look like. Okay, again, if you want to, you can lay it down and measure it. It should be around 5 inches here. Let's measure that. There we go. 5 inches, which is, yep, 13 centimeters across. Okay, so just measure that out, and then let's go on to row 2. Let's chain up 3. 1, 2, and 3, and that is going to count as a stitch for row 2. We're going to turn our work around, and on this next stitch right here, we are going to front post double crochet. So yarn over, go from this side of the stitch around it, just like that, just like I showed you in piece number 4. We are continuing with a double crochet. Front post double crochet, just like that. Now in the next 2 stitches, we are going to put a regular double crochet in each one of those. So yarn over, go into the stitch, just like that, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. Yarn over, go into this next stitch right here, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2. Then on this next stitch right here, we are going to make a front post double crochet. So yarn over, go on the side of the post around it, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So we're going to repeat that sequence of those 3 stitches. So we are going to put a regular double crochet in the next 2 stitches, 1 and 1, and then a front post double crochet around the stitch after that. So yarn over, go around the post from the front of it, just like that, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, and we're just going to repeat this across. So a regular double crochet in the next 2 stitches, and then a front post double crochet around the next. Then a regular double crochet on the next 2 stitches, and I'm almost done with the row. So you can just continue watching. We're putting a front post double crochet on the next, and I'll show you how to finish this row. We are going to put a regular double crochet on these next 2 stitches, and a front post double crochet on this stitch. Now, like I said in the beginning, that chain up 3 counts as a stitch right here, so we're going to put a regular double crochet into that beginning chain up 3 stitch right there. You can see that. We went in, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, so that's row 2. Going on to row 3, we are going to chain up 3, 1, 2, and 3, turn the work around, And we are going to, now you can see here the stitches that look like back post double crochet stitches right here, we're going to put a regular double crochet in those. And the ones that looked raised or closest to us, those ones are going to have front post double crochets on those. So this first stitch right here is going to have a regular double crochet in it. Okay, then these next two stitches are going to have a front post double crochet on each one of those. So 1 and 2. Okay, and then this next one is going to have a regular double crochet. And then these next two stitches are going to have front post double crochets on each one of those. Just like that. And just repeat this across. So a regular double crochet on the stitch that looks like a back post double crochet stitch. It was actually a front post double crochet stitch on the previous row, but since we turned our work, it looks like a back post stitch. And then we are going to front post double crochet on these next two stitches, and then put a regular double crochet in the next. So I know that's kind of repetitive, but I'm going to continue working this. Just continue watching me. I'm going to show you how to finish up row 3 here. And then the repeat is rows 2 and 3. So I'll let you be and do that in a minute here. Okay, so when you finish row 3 here, we're putting a regular double crochet in this stitch and a regular double crochet on this chain of 3. 1, 2, 3, right at the top here. Just put a regular double crochet into, whoopsie, the top of that stitch. Just like that. Okay, and now we can chain up 3. 1, 2, 3, turn the work around, and now you can see that it's starting to create a waffle design, okay, with that ribbing there and the ribbing across here. Okay, so let's just continue working. Rows 4 through 14 are a repeat of rows 2 and 3. So just rewind this and repeat rows 2 and row 3. And we are going to end this on a repeat of row 2. Okay, so end with a repeat of row 2. That's rows 4 through 14. When I'm finished with row 14, I'll meet you up and we'll fasten this piece off. Alright, I'm just finishing row 14 here. When we're done, just make sure to chain 1 and cut your yarn, and then continue to pull that all the way through and pull tight, just like we fastened off all of our other pieces. So this is what your piece should look like. Make sure that it does measure. If you wanted to, before fastening off, obviously measure your piece. Again, you want it to be 5 inches wide, okay, 5 inches wide, and 8 inches tall, which is perfect. So that is about 21 centimeters tall and about 13 centimeters wide. So that is how big this piece, piece number 6 of our project should be. You can see the texture in there, and it looks like a really nice waffle design. It looks really cool. So that's that. I need you to rewind this if you need to, but make 2 of these in total. So you have 2 pieces of piece number 6. Okay, and you can rewind this and see that to make another one. So once you have 2 pieces of, or 2 of piece number 6, let's put them aside and grab another color and make piece number 7. Alright, piece number 7, I am using Dark Orchid in the Red Heart Super Saver color. You can use any color you want, but I'm going to start off with a slip knot. I know I showed you how to do that earlier. And we are going to start out with a chain of 25. So let's chain 25, yarn over, pull through. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm not going to make you watch me do all 25 chains, just like all the other pieces. So chain 25, I'll meet you up for row 1. Alright, once you have your 25 chains, you can lay it down if you'd like to measure it out. Should be 7 inches, which it is exact. 7 inches. Awesome. So let's go on to row 1. We are going to single crochet in the second chain from the hook and across. So count 1 and 2, the second chain here. Again, back ridges. This one is so similar to piece number 1. We are single crocheting all the way across this chain, just like so. So if you need to, I mean, you can rewind this to go, I went a little bit slower in piece number 1 for row 1 of that piece. Just single crochet across this row, and then I'll meet you up for row 2. Alright, just finishing row 1 here. Going on to row 2, and each row past this, we are going to chain up 1 and turn our work around. And you remember for piece 1, we worked in the back loops only and single crocheted across. For this piece, we are going to work in both loops. So we're just going to single crochet across. So remember this first stitch right here. Now you should have 24 stitches across for each row, and we're just single crocheting just like this in each stitch across. And that is for rows 2 through 28. Okay, so this piece is going to be 8 inches tall. So it's 7 inches wide right now, and we are going to make this 8 inches tall, and I'm doing rows 2 through 28, just single crocheting in each stitch across, and then chain 1, turn the work, and single crochet across. So once I finish row 28, we'll have a big giant like rectangular kind of shape. I'll meet you up and I'll show you how to fasten off, and then we can go on to making piece number 8. Alright, I just finished row 28, so this is what your piece should look like. I already actually cut my yarn, so let's just fasten this piece off. Just chain 1, cut your yarn, and then pull that all the way through and pull it tight. Okay, just like those other pieces. So this is what it should look like. Again, grab your measure tape and measure that out. It should be 7 inches wide, okay, which is about 18, well, almost 18 centimeters across here. Okay, just like that. So about 18 centimeters across, that's 7 inches wide, and then 8 inches tall. So if yours isn't 8 inches tall yet, just make sure to continue with the rows and make sure that it gets to be 8 inches tall, which is about 20 centimeters. So make sure you do that, and then you can fasten off, and then weave in your ends. I know I showed you this earlier, but just yarn your needle with that straggler, and then weave in those ends. And then what I need you to do, if you need to, you can rewind this section to make one more piece of piece number 7 here. We need to have 2 of these in total. So I have one already done here. So we have 2 of these piece number 7. So just make another one of those, and then once we have our ends sewn in and we have both pieces made, we can go on to making piece number 8. Alright, let's go on to making piece number 8. I'm using Spring Green in the Red Heart Super Saver color, and we are going to start out with a slip knot. So put that short end over your long end, fold that down, and then pull that through and pull tight. Okay, insert your hook, and for piece number 8, we are going to chain 14. So I'm just going to chain real fast here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, oopsie, 12, 13, and 14. And then in the second chain from the hook, we are going to single crochet. So count here 1 and 2, the second chain right there. And again, just like piece number 1, we're just going to go into that back ridge, go in, yarn over, pull through, and then yarn over and pull through 2. Okay, we're single crocheting across. Very simple row here. So I'm just going to single crochet across, and then I'll meet you up for row 2. Alright, finishing row 1 here. This is what it should look like. And if you need to, you can set this down and measure your piece. It should be 4 inches across here. So let's measure this out real quick. And yep, it equals, whoopsie, there it is, 4 inches, which is approximately 10 centimeters. So kind of just lay it out and measure it just like that, and it's about 10 centimeters there. Okay, so that's how wide that should be. Now going on to row 2, we are going to chain up 3, 1, 2, and 3, and that counts as our double crochet, our first double crochet of this next row. You can see I'm turning my work around, and we're going to work our first stitch actually in this stitch right here, because this chain up 3 looks like it's in this first stitch, and that's going to count as a stitch. So now our next stitch can go into this stitch right here, and it's going to be my absolute favorite, a popcorn stitch. So we are going to yarn over, go into that stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. We're double crocheting, so we have to put 4 double crochets into there. So that was 1, so yarn over again, go back in, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. There's 2, here's 3, and 4. Okay, there's 4 double crochets all in that same stitch. Now what I'm going to do is remove my hook from here, just like that, and then we're going to go into the first double crochet of the 4 double crochet grouping. Okay, so not this chain up 3. We're actually going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 right in this one right here, go into the stitch, and then put that loop back on your hook, okay, and pull that through that stitch. Okay, and then you want to pull your string tight, and that creates a popcorn. How cute! This is so awesome. I love this stitch so much. It folds it in half and makes it really pop out. Now what we're going to do is double crochet into the next stitch right here. So you do not have to chain 1 or anything. Just yarn over, go into the next stitch here, and just put 1 double crochet in there. Okay, and we're going to alternate these 2 stitches across. So in this next stitch right here, we're going to put our popcorn, which is 4 double crochets. So 1, here's 2, 3, and 4. Okay, then remove your hook from that loop. You can kind of pull it up just a little bit. Remove your hook from there. Count back 1, 2, 3, 4. Go into this stitch right here, and then put your loop back on your hook, and then pull it through that stitch. Okay, then you can pull your string tight over here, and it folds that all in half and looks fabulous. And then we're going to double crochet into the next stitch. So yarn over, go in, yarn over and pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2. So just alternate those 2 stitches across here, and you should have, let me count how many popcorns, 6 popcorn stitches at the end of this row. So I'll meet you up, and then we'll go on to row 3. Alright, you want to end this row with a double crochet stitch, just like this. So I counted back, and you should have 7 regular double crochets and then 6 popcorn stitches. So let me pull this up here and show you what it should look like. You can see, wow, those popcorn stitches are fabulous. So this is a stitch right here, okay, so that is our first double crochet stitch counted. So 1, and then 2, here's 3, 4, 5, 6, and the last one, 7. Okay, so 7 regular double crochets and then 6 popcorn stitches. And again, you can measure across here, make sure it's the 4 inches or 10 centimeters across. And now we can go on to row 3. Let's chain up 1 and turn the work around, so we're looking at the back of our popcorn stitches. Okay, this will be the back of our work, and we're going to single crochet into each stitch across for a total of 13 stitches, and we're going to work our first one right into this first stitch here. So go right into there, yarn over, pull through, and then yarn over and pull through 2. Then for the popcorn stitch, if you just look at your work like this, it looks like there's that stitch right there. Okay, you can go in there for your stitch. If you want to go in the middle of your popcorn stitch up and into it like this, in between your stitches, it's really difficult, so I don't recommend it. But if you want to, totally up to you, creator's choice, you can go right in between the fold, but I'm not going to. You can see clearly the first double crochet of that popcorn stitch right there. We're going to go into there and make our single crochet. And we're just going to single crochet across. So now we can go into this double crochet stitch right here, single crochet in there, and then the popcorn stitch the first double crochet of that popcorn stitch is very clear to see, and you can single crochet in there. Just make sure you have 13 single crochets across on row 3. And then all I'll need you to do is just rewind this if you need to see rows 2 and 3 for the rest of this pattern. We are going to repeat rows 2 and 3 until this piece measures 8 inches tall, which will get me to row 17. You want to end this piece with a repeat of row 3. Okay, so row 17 will be a single crochet row, and you can see here there's this chain up 3 stitch. Do not forget that we do need to single crochet into the chain up 3 because that counted as a stitch from the previous row. Okay, so now we're going to repeat row 2 here. So let's chain up 3, turn the work around, and the popcorn stitch goes into this next stitch here because this chain up 3 looks like it's in this stitch here. Okay, so our popcorns are going into every other stitch, and we are going to double crochet in every other stitch. If you need to, follow row 2, okay, for row 4. Now I'm going to repeat rows 2 and 3 until I finish row 17, and then once I'm finished with row 17, I'll show you how to fasten off and we can go on to making our last piece. Alright, just finishing up row 17. So now before we fasten this off, let's measure this out. You should end on the back of your work. Okay, this is the front of your work where your popcorns are, but row 17 is a repeat of row 2 here. So, right? No, row 3, sorry. It's a repeat of row 3 where it's single crocheting across, so we're looking at the back of our work. So let's measure this out. It should be 8 inches tall. If you have to stretch it just a hair, you can. And there it is. Whoop whoop. 8 inches. Okay, and that is about 20 centimeters. And then again, you can measure the 4 inches wide. Okay, and that is about 10 centimeters. Okay, so make sure that you have your piece measuring 4 inches wide and by 8 inches tall, and then we can fasten this off by chaining up 1. You already saw I cut my yarn, so I'm just going to pull that all the way through and then pull that tight, and I'm going to cut this a little shorter actually. We are going to sew in this end, and then make sure you sew in all your ends, and then if you need to, rewind this again to see piece number 8. We need 2 of these ones in total, okay, in the same color with the popcorn stitches. So make sure to make 2 of these, and then we can go on to making our last piece. But here's 2 of these in total, so make sure you have those. And then once you have both of these done, let's go on to make our last piece, piece number 9. Alright, let's go on to piece number 9. This blue color is so fabulous. It's so bright and vibrant. It is called Pool by Red Heart Super Saver. So that's what I'm going to make piece number 9 with. So let's start out with a slip knot. Put your short end over that long end, fold that down, pull it through. Okay, insert your hook. And for piece number 9, we have to chain 26. So I'm not going to show you my chain. I've shown you enough in this video how to chain. So just chain 26, and then I'll meet you up for row 1. Alright, I just chained 26, and if you need to, you can measure this piece. It should be 8 inches long or wide here, so it's about 8 inches for me, so that is about 20 centimeters, so make sure you measure that out. And then we are going to go on to row 1 by single crocheting in the second chain from the hook. So count 1 and 2 right in this chain here. We're going to turn that chain toward us and work in that back ridge. Go into the second chain, yarn over, pull through, yarn over and pull through 2, so we have a single crochet in there. Now we're going to skip the next 2 chains, 1 and 2, and then in the next chain here, this third chain here, we're going to put 5 double crochets in there. So yarn over, skip this chain, and go into this chain here, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So there's 1, yarn over, go back into that same chain, and make another double crochet, and we have to have a total of 5. So there's 1 and 2. Here's 3, 4, and 5. Awesome. Now we are going to skip the next 2 chains, 1 and 2, and we're going to go into this next chain here and single crochet. So just skip this chain, go into this chain here, yarn over, pull through, and then yarn over and pull through 2 loops. Okay, so you can see that we created the shell stitch. It looks good. Single crochet, skip 2 chains, then shell stitch in the next, then skip 2 chains, and then single crochet in the next. And we're going to work that pattern across this chain here. So let's skip 2 chains, and then shell in the next chain, which is 5 double crochets, all in that same chain. So 1, here's 2, 3, 4, and 5. Alright, then skip the next 2 chains here, 1 and 2, and go into this chain right here for a single crochet. So all you need to do is just go in there, yarn over, pull through, yarn over and pull through 2 loops. Okay, and we have our next shell stitch. So that's how it should look. So just do that all the way across this chain. Just skip 2, shell in the next, skip 2, and single crochet in the next. I'll meet you up at the end of row 1 and we'll go on to row 2 together. Alright, you want to end row 1 with a single crochet, and then we can go on to row 2. So row 2 is one of our repeat rows, so this is what we're going to do for row 2. Chain up 3, 1, 2, and 3, then turn the work around. Now that chain up 3 counts as a stitch, and in the same stitch that's worked in right here, we are going to put 2 more double crochets. So yarn over, go into that very first stitch there, and make a double crochet, and again another double crochet. So it actually looks like there's 3 double crochets in this very first stitch here, because this chain up 3 counts as 1. Now we're going to skip 2 stitches here and go into the middle double crochet of this shell and put a single crochet in there. So go into the middle double crochet of this shell, yarn over, pull through, yarn over and pull through 2 loops. Okay? Now we're going to make a shell stitch into this single crochet right here. So we're going to skip these 2 stitches right there, and we're going to put 5 double crochets into this next single crochet stitch. So 1, here's 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, and we're just going to repeat that across. Now go into the middle double crochet of the next shell. So skip 2 stitches here, go into the middle stitch right there, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. Then skip 2 stitches and put 5 double crochets in the next stitch, which is this single crochet stitch. And we're putting a shell in there. And then we're going to single crochet into the middle double crochet of the next shell. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. So single crochet in the middle, double crochet of the next shell, and then put 5 double crochets in that single crochet. This is such a similar stitch to what we did with the mermaid tail, the adult mermaid afghan. If you've made that, you know how to do the shell stitch, you know how to do the stitches used for that project. It's very similar to that. Okay? It's exactly the same as that. And then we're going to single crochet into the middle double crochet of this last shell. But now finishing row 2, we're going to skip these 2 stitches, and we have 1 stitch left right over here. We're going to put only 3 double crochets in there. So just end this row with 3 double crochets. Okay, and that's the end of row 2. That was really fast, actually. So you should have 3 shell stitches in there, and then 1/2 in the beginning and 1/2 in the end. Okay, just like that. And again, if you want to measure this, make sure it stays the 8 inches across here. And we need to make this 4 inches high. So we are going to go on to row 3 now. We're going to chain up 1 and turn our work. Row 3 is a repeat row, so this is what we're doing for row 3. Chain 1, turn the work around, and single crochet into this very first stitch right here. So just go into there, then yarn over, pull through, and then yarn over and pull through 2. Okay, and we're going to work our established pattern now. So skip 2 stitches and go into this single crochet stitch right here and put 5 double crochets in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then single crochet into the middle double crochet of this next shell. So skip this stitch, and then single crochet into that next one right there. Okay, then skip 2 stitches and put your shell into this single crochet stitch. So put 5 double crochets in there, and then single crochet into the middle double crochet of the next shell. And it's that simple. So I'll meet you up at the end of row 3. It's just working that established pattern, and then I'll show you how to end row 3, and then we'll go on to row 4 together. Finishing row 3, we are skipping these 2 stitches and we're going to single crochet into this last stitch, or this chain up 3 stitch here. So go into the top of that for a single crochet to finish off row 3. At this point, I'll need you to just rewind this to repeat rows 2 and 3 2 more times. So for row 4, we're going to repeat row 2. For row 5, you're going to repeat row 3. For row 6, you're going to repeat row 2. And for row 7, you're going to repeat row 3. So just repeat 2 and 3 2 more times. So 2, 3, 2, 3. Once you do the next 4 rows on your own, I'm going to meet you up after I finish row 7, and then once I'm finished with row 7, we'll go on to the last row together, and we'll finish this piece off. Alright, just finishing up row 7 here. Just have to single crochet in that last stitch. This is what your piece should look like. We're going to straighten off this edge here across here for row 8, and then we can fasten off. So let's chain up 1 and turn our work around. Okay, row 8, we are going to single crochet into this first single crochet stitch. Then we're going to chain 2, 1 and 2, and then single crochet into the middle double crochet of this shell. Then we're going to chain 2, 1, 2, and then single crochet into this next single crochet right here. And just do that all the way across. So chain 2, 1, 2, single crochet in the middle double crochet of this shell right here. Then chain 2, 1, 2, and single crochet into the single crochet, this next single crochet here. So do that all the way across. Actually, I'm almost done, so you can continue watching, and then I'll show you how to fasten off, and then I'll need you to rewind this and make another one of piece 9. So you have 2 pieces of piece 9. End this row with a single crochet in the last stitch, and then chain 1 and cut your yarn and pull that and pull tight, and then we'll weave in our ends. So now what I need you to do, like I said, is just rewind this and make one more of these pieces. It should measure 8 inches across and 4 inches up and down. So do that, and then once you are done making all 22 of your pieces, okay, you can see here I have all of them all laid out, the ones that I have done already. We are going to then, in the next screen, you'll see how to lay these all out. I'll have a photo of all of these all laid out in the order that they should be for the blanket design, to be how it should look. Okay, and then once you have it all laid out and everything, you can see the layout of it. In the next section of this video, I am going to show you then how to attach all of these pieces, but I'm only going to show you, how to attach like 2 or 3 pieces, and then I'll leave you on your own to attach the rest. It's going to be all the same, but I'll just show you the layout of how it should all look, and then you can make it all into the blanket design. So check out for that picture. You can pause this video to see the layout if you need to. Also, I did want to mention you could block all these pieces. You can see here some of these edges are kind of jaggedy, so you can just, you know, kind of block these into their measurements of how they're supposed to measure out. You can totally do that, but you don't have to, because the crocheting all these pieces together will keep its shape and everything. So just pause the video to see the layout in the next segment, and then I will come back and I'll show you how to attach all of your pieces. Alright, so now that you've seen the photo of how it's all going to be laid out, I don't have enough room on my background here to show you all of it laid out on here, but if you just refer to that image, you can lay out your pieces, and that is how you should crochet them together. So now I'm going to show you just row the furthest row that was to the right on the image. This is how it looked. This is piece 1, 2, 3, and 4. And so I'll show you how to attach these pieces, and then you go on to making the other pieces. Now my mom wrote up this little design here. I'm going to turn it to the side because in the image that was just shown to you on the screen, it's set up like this, how it's drawn out. This is my mom's drawing, so she designed this for me, and this is how each piece should lie down. So you can see on this table here I have piece 1, 2, 3, and 4, and that's this row right here. So what we're going to do is crochet strips. We're going to crochet these 4 together, then these 5 together, then these 4 together. So we're just doing strips like this, and then once we have all 5 strips done, we are going to then go this way and crochet them across here. Okay, these 4 lines straight across. So we're going to crochet each strip together. So I'm going to crochet across here right now, across here, and across here. And then once this whole strip is done, I'll go on to making this strip, and I'll crochet along this line, and then along this line, and along this line. So that'll be another strip. And so then once we have all of these strips done, then we'll come back and put all 5 lines, there'll be 5 strips you'll have, and then we'll crochet along each edge here, across here, and then we do the whole border to finish it off. So this is just a little side drawing, little scratch notes, but I have piece number 1, 2, 3, and 4 over here, and I'm going to attach with white. This is just plain white Red Heart Super Saver, as you can see here. So that's what I'm attaching with. You can attach with any color you want. So I'm going to grab piece 1 and 2, and I want the ridge to be kind of on the top here. So what I'm going to actually do is bring these 2 together and kind of put the back sides together like this. And we're going to start from one corner here and work across. And I'm going to attach with the single crochet method. Now, I do have a video tutorial on my website for how to attach granny squares that are different sizes, and there are different ways you can attach. You can attach doing a whip stitch, you can do a mattress stitch, you can crochet kind of like an invisible type of stitching. There's many different ways, and I show how to do the single crochet method also, which is what we're going to do right now. So what we're going to do is just hold on to this yarn like this, kind of fold it in half around our finger, and then go into the very first stitch on each piece, okay, through both layers, and hook on this yarn, okay, just like that. And then we are going to pull it through, if we can. There we go. Whoopsie. Pull it through both layers. Okay, and then we're going to chain 1 and just single crochet across. Now, since these are different size pieces, they're the same measurement, but there's more stitches on this piece than there are on this piece. So you'll have to count your stitches along here, and if one has more and the other one has less, you'll have to double up on a couple of the stitches. So let's go into these first stitches that we just attached to. Let's go in there, then yarn over and pull through, and then yarn over and pull through 2. And then we're going to go right into the next stitch right here, and into this next stitch on this one as well, and make a single crochet. So yarn over and pull through both of those layers, and then yarn over and pull through 2. Now, if you have more on one, okay, we're going to go, if the piece that has more of, you're going to go into the next stitch. Okay, you're never going to go into the same stitch. You're always going to go into the next stitch. But if you have less stitches on the other side, we're going to go into the same stitch as the last stitch. So we're going to go back into that one. Okay, so we're going into the next stitch on this one, but we're going back into that other one that we just crocheted in, so that it looks like there's 2 stitches in one on that side. Okay, but you wouldn't tell on this side because there's 1 stitch in each stitch, but on this side we put 2 stitches in there. That way, if this piece has more stitches, then it'll line up. But just don't do it for every single stitch, because then it'll just bunch up like this and it'll look really weird. So you want to make sure that you spread those out, those spaces out. So just go to the next stitch on this one and the next stitch on this one, and maybe do it every 3 or 4 stitches, depending on how many more stitches you have. But in the end, it should stretch to be the right measurement of your piece. And like I said earlier, you can block your pieces, so they will for sure be the same size, but you don't really have to block them, because crocheting these together will give them the size that they need to be. And then you can see, as I'm crocheting this, I'm going to lay it flat for a second, and you can see here the crocheted, the single crocheted edge really like gives it a little pop above the pieces, so it kind of just gives it a nice little ridge, and it's very pronounced. Okay, I really like that design. So I'm going to single crochet all the way across. Like I said, if the piece that has the more stitches on it, okay, this piece has more stitches on it than this piece, we're going to go into the next stitch. Okay, and the piece that has less stitches, we're going to go into the same stitch as the last stitch, but we're only going to do that a few times. Space it out, count your stitches, make sure to find out how many more one piece has from the other. And if you need extra assistance on how to attach pieces that are different sizes, you can go to that other video tutorial that I have when I attached my granny squares from last year when I did the 365 days of granny squares project. I show how to attach different sized granny squares, and you can view that as well. So you can really attach these however you feel comfortable. You know, if you like to do the whip stitch effect or the mattress stitch or do a different type of attaching method, this part is kind of just creator's choice. Just attach your pieces, viewing the photo that I showed you, and that is the layout of how the pieces should be attached, and we're just going to attach these. So what I'm going to do, because you don't have to really watch every single piece of these being attached on my video, just follow along with this method of single crocheting across each attached area. Once I have the 5 strips all done, here you can zoom out here and I'll show you. Once I have all the strips all lined up like this, and I have them all done, then what I'm going to do, and I'm going to do all of this off camera. If you need more assistance, just send me a message on the Facebook page and I will try to help you as best as I can. But I'm just going to attach all these pieces, all the strips, all 5 strips, and then I'm just going to single crochet across this line, attaching each strip. Once I have everything attached, all 22 pieces of our blanket attached, yeah, there's my messy pile of all of the pieces, then once those are all attached and we have one big blanket, I will then show you how to do the border. Alright, so I know I said I was going to come back when all my pieces are attached, but I have the 5 strips done at this point, so you can see here all of my strips. This is how each one should look. Oops, this one's backwards. Sorry. There we go. So you should have that ridge on the top here for each one. When I was making these, I realized that our top one is the same as our bottom one, so that's how it was designed. So this is how it should look. And when we were crocheting, when I showed you earlier how to crochet across here, I was crocheting across here, and then to fasten off, what I just did was chained one and cut my yarn and then sewed that in. So that's exactly when you get to this right across here, that's how it should be. So you should have all 5 of these strips done, and then what we're going to do is attach them. So let me put these 3 aside, and what we're going to do is take the 2, line them up, okay, and just crochet across this little seam here. Now you can, like I said earlier, do the a whip stitch or a mattress stitch or any other type of stitching, but I am going to single crochet this all the way across, and we're doing this all the way across this piece and then each piece after it. So now I'll, meet you up then. And then actually when you get to the very end, so I'm going to crochet all the way along here. When I get to this point and I'm done crocheting across here, I'm going to chain 1 and fasten off. Okay? So then, and then I'm going to sew in my ends. And then once I have all 5 of these strips done and crocheted together, then I'll meet you up and I'll show you exactly how to do the border. Alright, so I just attached these strips, as you can see, so now it looks good. Whoopsie, dropping things back here. So now we are going to do the border. So let's start in a corner, any corner, and we're just going to do a basic double crochet border, okay? So we're just going to, well, for the first round, we're going to do a few rounds on this. So let's attach our yarn in a corner, in any corner, okay? And then chain up 3, 1, 2, 3, and that's going to count as our first stitch. And in our corners we are going to put 5 stitches, so that counts as 1, so we just had to put 4 in this first one. But then every corner after this we're going to put 5 double crochets. So 1, 2, here's 3, 4, and there's 5. Okay, so there's 5 in that corner there. So now we're going to double crochet into each stitch across here, or in each wherever your hook fits. Like some of these, this part is stitches here, and you can see I'm just working in each stitch across here, and you can see I'm also working over this straggler as well. But when we get to, let's say, this point right here, these are not stitches, but wherever your hook fits is where you should put a single crochet. Kind of like when you are attaching your pieces, some of the pieces, didn't have stitches along there, so we had to just basically go in where your hook fits to attach the pieces. So that's kind of how we're going to double crochet around this piece. So just double crochet around the piece. I don't have stitch count because it's going to be different for everybody, especially if you just put your stitches wherever in those pieces that don't have stitches on the edge. Like legit stitches. You're going to have to put your stitches wherever you feel comfortable and wherever it looks good. So that's pretty much creator's choice. So just double crochet around this whole piece, and I'll meet you up when we are going on to the second round of the border. Alright, I just finished round 1 of the border, so you can see here, I mean it's just a basic double crochet border, so you can see I did that all the way around. Looks good. So now let's do the second round. We are going to slip stitch to this first chain up 3 right here. So go into there, into that front loop and back loop, yarn over, pull through, and pull through. There we go. Alright, for round 2 we are going to chain up 1 and single crochet into that same stitch. Okay, so go in, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. Then we're going to chain 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and we're going to skip 4 stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4, and single crochet into the next. And we're going to do that all the way around. So chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, skip 4 stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4, and go into the next, and single crochet. Okay, so you'll have little kind of spaces here, just like that. So chain 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4, skip 4 stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4, and go into the next stitch and single crochet. Okay, so I'm going to do that all the way around, and at the end of this round I will meet you up and we'll go on to the next round. Alright, so when I was finishing doing my chain 4, skip 4, and then single crochet in the next, I ended up with only 3 stitches left at the end here, which is okay. If you have more or less stitches or something, if you have like, I don't know, if you have 5 stitches left, just skip the last 5. If you have 3 stitches left like me, just skip the last 3. Okay, nobody's going to notice that at all because this is just a little border here. So then when you chain your last 4 and skip your last few stitches, then just slip stitch into this first single crochet right here. So go in, yarn over, pull through, and pull through, just like that. So now round 3 of the border, we are going to make a little edge in working in these chain spaces. So slip stitch into this chain space, yarn over, pull through and through, just like that, and then chain up 1. Okay, and we are going to actually put 5 stitches in each one of these. We are going to put a half double crochet, so yarn over, go in, yarn over, pull through, yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. That's a half double crochet. Then we're going to put 3 double crochets, so yarn over, go in, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So there's 1, here's 2, and here's 3. And then we're going to put another half double crochet in there. So yarn over, go in, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through all 3. Okay, so it kind of makes this little like scallop or shell looking thing. And then we're going to do that in each chain space around. So just hop to the next chain space and make a half double crochet, 3 double crochets, 1, 2, and 3, and then another half double crochet in that next chain space. Okay, just like that. So that's kind of how the border is going to look. Okay, little scallops here. So I'm just going to do that all the way around in each chain space, and then when I come back around we can fasten off together. Alright, I just came back around and did my whole edging, so now we are going to go into the first half double crochet of this first petal, or this first shell looking thing here. We're going to go into there, then yarn over and pull through, and now we can fasten off. So let's chain 1 and cut the yarn, and then continue to pull that all the way through, and then pull it tight, and then just grab your yarn needle and sew in any more ends that you have just sticking out. And so that this can be completely finished, just yarn your needle just like I showed you, and then just go underneath the stitches in the back, and there you have it. The Dreamtime Mosaic Baby Quilt is complete. Thank you so much for watching and learning how to make this fabulous piece. I had so much fun with all the different stitches and all the different designs, and it was just a lot of fun to do this. So thank you so much for watching and learning. I hope to see your baby blankets on the Facebook, so please share them on the Facebook page and share them on Instagram and hashtag YARNutopia so I can see them. You can even Snapchat me on the Snapchat. I'm YARNutopia on there, so I'd like to see that. And hashtag YARNutopia if you post this on social media. I just love this so much, so thank you again. Happy hooking!